All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Early Morning Crypto Talk Bitcoin. Brandon from Los Angeles, California. Facebook will not allow me to connect, so we are on YouTube Live today. Go ahead, type in the chat box where you're listening in from. See, Eldridge, good morning. Brian Roberts, Baltimore and Annapolis, somewhere in between, huh? My cousin Marnita, good morning from Colorado. Clevie Stewart from New York. Port Gomes, Guyana. Shane West, Chicago. Bethany Gibbs, Seattle. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share a suggestion, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get a return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What are you willing to do to make that happen? Make a decision, take action, stay focused, and do not get distracted. Now, following these rules is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. Since we are on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Just in case I don't do lives on Facebook, you can still see it here, and hit the bell so you're notified when I go live. Good morning, Tracy Douglas. Albert from Seattle. La Rubera from the Netherlands. Ria. Good morning, Ria. It's probably late afternoon for you. Successful Lifestyle. Good morning from Texas. All right, I did not do a crypto talk yesterday, so let's see what we're missing. Yesterday was Monday morning, and I do my weekly Walking Dead supply run in the morning for myself and for my parents. So I was out all day yesterday in the morning. Market is at 197 billion. It is up 2.6% over the last 24 hours. Bitcoin is right at 69.14, up 3% last 24 hours. Ethereum is up 4.4%. Ripple 1.7%. Bitcoin Cash 2.8%. Bitcoin SV 3%. Binance Coin had a huge jump, up 9.5% over the last 24 hours. EOS 3.6%. Tezos 3. OKB 3.2%. All right, so pretty good 24 hours. Let's see the news. Crypto Whale says only one thing will prove Bitcoin is ready for next bull run. No, so we've got a crypto whale, somebody who has a whole lot of coins, has an opinion. And I always pay attention when they do. So let's see what he's talking about. One of the most public and profitable crypto whales around says he's waiting for a single Bitcoin signal to prove the leading crypto is ready to begin a new long-term bull run. The pseudonymous trader Joel 007, and he tends to be right, earned $20 million in realized profits on Bitfinex between February and March. That is just insane. In 1 month, he made $20 million on Bitfinex. At this point, he says high volatility in traditional markets is likely to continue, a scenario that could push Bitcoin lower in the short term. With extreme uncertainty in both traditional and crypto markets, Joe says he's watching to see the return of the Bitcoin is dead meme. Oh, I see what he's going for. I understand what he's saying. Once the chorus of capitulators and naysayers declaring the end of Bitcoin reaches a crescendo, he says Bitcoin will finally be free of shaky speculators and poised for a sustainable rally. Smart. Meanwhile, Joe continues to warn fellow traders against placing too much faith in the popular stock-to-flow ratio. I agree with that too. Some analysts say the indicator, which models Bitcoin's circulating supply divided by the number of new coins entering the market, suggests that Bitcoin is set to begin its next massive rally after the halving in May. I don't think that's going to happen. See, what I say is going to happen is you will have a short run up, and then the whales are going to sell, and you're going to see Bitcoin drop like a rock. At the same time, you're going to see miners mining Bitcoin. They're going to drop like a rock as well because it's not going to be profitable. Then you're going to start seeing a delay in the blockchain, a backlog and a slow up. And when that happens, and it's going to be a cascading effect, Bitcoin could drop down to $3,000, $4,000. And then I see what he's saying. Then you're going to see the media start saying, oh, see, Bitcoin halving took place. Everybody thought that it was going to go to the moon, and it just crashed. Bitcoin's dead. It's not going anywhere. Blah, blah, blah. You might as well get out while you can. That's what he's talking about. And then that's when you buy. And you're going to start to see a slow run up through the rest of the year and an explosion in 2021. That's what I believe is going to take place. But I see what he's saying now. He's like, here's the indicator. When you start seeing the media and you start seeing people screaming Bitcoin is dead and blah, 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 that's the mark right there. So Joe says traders need to do their own research. Yep. Selling S2F is having absolute predictive power is not only waste of time, it's dangerous for tens, hundreds of thousands of retail crypto traders who don't understand statistics and substitute Dior by varied guru dictums. This is why I always say, you must, hey, Janelle, you said good morning, and then you deleted it. Good morning. Janelle Appling, Colorado. So what is my number one rule? Education is key. Education is everything. Learn how to read the charts yourself. Don't follow just whatever the gurus say. Don't follow just what I say. I'm right probably about 75% of the time. And when I'm wrong, it has most to do with timing. Then I was just way off the mark. It has to do with timing, that I couldn't get the timing just right. But it happened. But when you got your own education in place, you can do your own research. It says, my beef is with a cult of S2F that's stock to flow. And again, my problem with the stock to flow is these people, yes, they read the charts, but they don't take anything else into account, like global politics, geopolitics, human nature, outside forces that you can't predict, like coronavirus, a war, us blowing up the Iranian general. You know, there's things that you can't predict that will impact the market. And if all you're doing is stock to flow, you're going to miss that. So he says, my beef is with a cult around stock to flow with thousands of Muppets chanting in chorus, S2F is highly scientific, as if it's end all be all. Bitcoin is down 4.06% at $6,784 at time of publishing, according to CoinMarketCap. Well, it's up since then. I mean, when is this article? April 13th. That was yesterday. All right, next up. Western Union testing Ripple for cross-border payments, despite being less bullish on crypto assets. This is a huge news to pay attention to. When people ask me, Brandon, what altcoin should I buy? Whatever coins that are practicing and have proof of work of real world application. So it doesn't matter how I feel about Ripple. The XRP has real world application, and now you've got Western Union wanting to use them. Western Union sees Bitcoin and everything as a threat. But you know what that old saying, if you can't beat them, join them. Western Union is not giving up on the potential of cryptocurrency and continues to test the digital asset XRP. According to a 2020 research report from Credit Suisse, the money transfer giant is exploring whether the technology can boost the speed and lower the cost of international payments. Yes. Researchers say Western Union is testing and considering use of Ripple for cross-border payments, despite the fact that the company initially less bullish on the technology. Okay, well, how are they going to make a profit, though? See, Western Union makes a killing on the fees that you use their service to send money anywhere around the world. And if you're sending it internationally, I think there's a limit as far as their KYC. You got to jump through hoops just to send $3,000 to a different country. I remember I was doing a business transaction, and I did one transaction, was $3,500, and then a couple of days later, I wanted to move just $2,500. And the $3,500 went through, and then they're telling me, I was at Western Union, okay, yeah, we need your driver's license. You already have it on file. Okay, yeah, now we need your Social Security card. What? And then they said, oh, we need your passport. Are you serious? You got my driver's license, Social Security card, and now you want my passport? When you already have me in the system, you already cleared me before. But it just, once you do a certain amount in back-to-back like that, it flags you. And they want all this extra information. You don't need to go through any of that crap with crypto. But they charge. I think I had to pay like $70 or $80 just to send $3,000. Ripple, that would have been like 20 cents, if that. So how would Western Union make money? In June of last year, CEO Hikmet Ersek said the company's early trials with Ripple showed that using crypto was 5 times more expensive than Western Union's in-house system. What? CEO said the company's early trials with Ripple, that doesn't make any sense. And why would I need to go to Western Union when I could just use Ripple to send some money? Unless you pay with money, Ripple on their end, transferred into XRP, send it to their other country in Ripple, and then transfer it back into the native currency. So they got paid. So the people don't know that they're actually using Ripple. People are still going to Western Union with cash. Ah, okay, I see the business model now. I had to think this one out loud, see how it was working. So when you think about what's this, and in February of 2019, the company's general manager of Asia Pacific, Molly Shea, said the company is strategically placing itself in a position to utilize crypto assets if it becomes clear that they are the next wave in international payments. It is. When you think about cryptocurrencies, if those start to take off, we need to be ready. We need to be ready from a technology perspective. Interesting. And we've got to be ready from regulatory, has to be there. But we constantly have to be looking for those trends where customers are looking and make sure that you're ready to meet those needs and expectations. The Credit Suisse report, which was released in January, says crypto assets are unlikely to gain consumer-to-business payments adoption, at least for the medium term. It cites difficulties with chargebacks and dispute processes, taxation, regulatory uncertainty, and price volatility as potential factors that could slow adoption. The report names BitPay, Libra, JPM Coin, R3, IBM WorldWire, and Ripple as some of the leaders in the space, all pushing to utilize digital assets for remittances. Okay, wait. Let's back up here. Let's look at this list that they just said. BitPay, okay, BitPay's been around and it's proven. Libra, they've never launched. How are you calling them a leader in the space and they've never even launched? JPM Coin, how are you calling that a leader in the space and they're only using that for their rich customers inside Chase Morgan? R3, haven't heard of it. IBM WorldWire, only briefly heard of that. There's only two out of this list, BitPay and Ripple. But why did they mention the others? That's interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, enough of that. Leaving traditional social media in the age of blockchain via user-oriented decentralized platforms. Now, I'm not even going to lie. The moment a Facebook-like alternative pops up on blockchain that's legitimate, because some of you guys are running around on some things, you're going to throw it over to me. I've seen them all. But nothing like a Facebook. But the moment a Facebook-like platform that's legitimate, that can be on the blockchain, I'm dumping Facebook. Now, let's see why. Greetings, Abiola from Nigeria. Sandy from Portland. The boom in social media platforms was once an unprecedented opportunity for content creators and marketers to reach a wide audience. The flip side of the coin became visible when users found themselves owning neither their content nor personal data. Centralized server-based platforms like Facebook and YouTube attracting 2 billion active users per month, or Twitter with its 330 million monthly audience, capitalize on users' data and give users content in return. By storing information in data centers with their thousands of servers, social media giants know their billions of users inside out and have control over their accounts. Private data becomes a potential product taken from users in exchange for free services. YouTube and Patreon can prevent users from receiving ad revenue, and Facebook does not enable monetization at all. This is all true. See, my biggest problem with them, not all that, because that's just going to be a given, it's the fact that they can censor you. If they don't like what you've got to say or whatever, they can pull your post or put you in Facebook jail or whatever. Like for me, for example, whenever, and it's not a coincidence, I've been doing this long enough to see a pattern. Whenever I really start talking on a topic that's controversial, and it doesn't even need to be in the headlines, it's the moment I start speaking on it, it's like Facebook is listening. Their algorithms pick up on that, and I immediately get shut down. And sometimes they will punish me by all of a sudden you can't connect. Like this morning, I can't connect to Facebook through Zoom. Or when I did the Bill Gates thing the other day, and all of a sudden for like 2 days, you couldn't view the post. The post wasn't even seen on my page. You'd have to go through, because I shared it on my fan pages and everything else, to see it. No longer viewable on my page for whatever reason. Or all of a sudden the audio goes out. Or all of a sudden I can't connect. It always happens when I'm really going controversial, which is why I try to watch certain things that I say and the topics that I cover and what and how I post. Because I know they're watching. So it is no surprise that social media applies censorship and deplatforming. Such policies are well known to the blockchain community, which regularly experiences content banning on many popular social sites. Harsh policies affect social groups based on political beliefs, both left and right wing. The COVID-19 epidemic has also triggered indiscriminate bans on content mentioning coronavirus. Along with misinformation about the virus's spread and false treatments, educational and socially significant content is also affected. Exodus to alternatives. The solution is partially provided by Reddit, Disqus, and Discord, which are still centralized but transfer self-moderation rights to communities. Some half measures are undertaken by Telegram. It locates its servers in several legal jurisdictions and prevents the censoring of private chats. Public channels on Telegram, though, are on paper subject to being closed. All the aforementioned is causing the beginning of a tectonic shift towards user-oriented, decentralized social platforms. This fact was recognized by Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, who has announced the intention to create standards for decentralized social media. In December 2019, he pointed to blockchain as a key technology for open hosting, governance, and monetization of content. The blockchain community, one of the most affected by censorship, resorted to vigorous subversive actions by launching a series of campaigns to abandon traditional social media. Their goals were to reclaim control over user data, reward authors and intellectual work through algorithms, and transfer management rights into the hands of community members. The latter demonstrates a new level of user consciousness, meaning that they view themselves as actors holding equal rights in the social platforms where they publish and watch content. However, even assuming that centralized media voluntarily addresses the demand of the blockchain community, real actions in addition to the protests are needed. Many attempts have already been made by alternative platforms to reform the social media sphere. Some decentralized platforms, such as the Twitter-like federated social network, Mastodon, adopt a non-blockchain-based approach. Mastodon is virtually a micro-blogging ad-free platform which unites users around various interests, similar to other Fediverse projects. A collection of social networks functioning as one sole ecosystem. Mastodon allows users to create instances that apply their own moderation rules. However, unlike Twitter or Weibo, Mastodon is not centrally hosted. Each user selects a specific server, which works independently and has its own terms and use of moderation policies. This does not mean getting away from the rules, but at least allows you to choose a server with the most suitable conditions. In fact, these are some of several social networks running on a common protocol. This model is similar to Twitter's plan for a decentralized media. Freedom and privacy became the main focus of Diaspora. This is a distributed social network consisting of a group of pods, independently owned nodes hosted by different individuals and institutions. Pods can be hosted on the user's own server or any server chosen and are connected to one large ecosystem. Since the network does not belong to any corporation or a person, it is protected from censorship. In addition, the social network does not appropriate copyright. The next step of decentralized media evolution is blockchain-powered social networks such as Steam. I know all about Steam, which rewards content creation, commenting, voting, and moderation in its internal tokens. Community involvement through financial incentives is what makes Steem more sophisticated than Medium, to which it is similar. A Reddit-like blockchain platform, Commune, guess that's how you pronounce that, is formed from decentralized, self-governed communities where each community functions in a similar way to Steemit. This social network rewards content creators, voters, and moderators, but in addition, it lets each community benefit from ad revenue. Now, that's more like it. Self-governing means that communities on Commune have the right to set up rules concerning content creation, rewards distribution, and advertisement policies. A decentralized network built atop a blockchain layer eliminates the possibility of censoring content, freezing accounts, or erasing any of the recorded information. This does not imply complete absence of any moderation. Elected community leaders can still ban content on Commune, but the rules of the community are recorded to the blockchain, thereby eliminating the likelihood of any excess of jurisdiction. Unlike Steemit, with one token for the whole network, Commune allows each community to have their own token. Although blockchain-based social platforms are still far from gaining traction, they are much more user-friendly than regular ones. They resist censorship, law enforcement aside, protect personal data, eliminate the constant threat of deplatforming, and provide a means to monetize content. That is why it would not be out of place to pay attention to them as an alternative to centralized networks owned by media giants. Now, just because, Facebook is the king doesn't mean it can't be supplanted. Blockbuster used to be king. Yahoo used to be king. MySpace used to be king. So if something better comes along, and I think that next version would be in a blockchain or some form of a decentralized where you have ownership of your content. I also don't know though how that can be protected, because now not only will that be used for good, it will also be used for bad and agendas. And I don't know how they will be able to do that without some form of real moderation. You'll end up having tribes set up. You'll have one group that's just for the left, one that's just for the right, one that you've got pedophiles out there, you've got racists out there, you've got all this other junk and stuff. How will that be policed? And it does need to be policed. It'll be interesting though. All right, next up, the FBI. FBI warns surge in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency scams likely as fraudsters try to capitalize on coronavirus. This is where people have to be very careful. It is known fact now. Last week, Google was having 14.5 billion searches on how to make money from home. And a lot of these people, because for them to search that way, they've never been in a home-based business before. They might have been approached by some and just completely ignored them and called them scams or whatever. But because they're not able to go to work, coronavirus, stay-at-home policy, they're getting desperate, and they're looking for ways to make money from home. So they're searching on Google. Now you have to think, if you're a scammer, this is Christmas for you, because you can create all kinds of crap to scam people because they don't know any better. But let's see what this has to say. The FBI just issued an alert to people of all ages warning that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency scammers are likely to find new ways to steal funds by taking advantage of the coronavirus pandemic. According to a news release published by the U.S. agency on Monday, people should watch out for potential work-from-home scams, investment scams, threatening emails or letters, and efforts to lure customers into buying non-existent treatment or equipment. Developments in cryptocurrency technology and an increasing number of businesses accepting it as payment have driven the growing popularity and accessibility of cryptocurrency. There are not only numerous virtual asset service providers online, but also thousands of cryptocurrency kiosks located throughout the world which are exploited by criminals to facilitate their schemes. Although there are legitimate charities, investment platforms, and e-commerce sites that accept payment in crypto, pressure to use a virtual currency should be considered a significant red flag. The FBI has also released a set of tips on how to avoid scammers. Where's the link to their tips? I want to see that. The agency says people should always verify that a company or charity is legitimate and accepts crypto assets before sending funds. Consumers should also do their own thorough research on any potential investment opportunities. In addition, people should avoid using personal bank accounts for work-related or business-related activity and report any threats to the FBI before taking action. The FBI says that it now has an entire team at its Criminal Investigative Division that's targeting crypto scammers to stop money laundering and fraud. You know, this is why, one, I got the 4 rules. Number 1, education is key. Education is everything. That allows you to be able to spot and capture red flags. Number 2, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose, because sometimes you may do all the research in the world and think something's legitimate until you actually get scammed. But if you limiting what you're putting into it, you're not going to lose your house. And number 3, always get a return on investment and back as fast as possible. In 2017, there was a record number of crypto scams and ICOs and things that were out there. 90% of them were scams. But here's the thing. Those that were educated, and I figured it out, it's a math to it. No matter what you were a part of, if you lasted at least 2 months, 60 days, it took a little less than 60 days to break even. It didn't matter what it was. You name me the company. Every scam and ICO out there, we figured out. It took about 60 days. So if you didn't know that you were in a scam, what I was telling people back then is, if you're putting money in at 60 days, whatever you make, pull out whatever it was that you put in ASAP. As soon as you match that. That's my rule number 3. Always get a return fast. So now you have no more risk. I can't tell you how many people failed. They failed step 2 and 3. Automatically they failed step 1, but they really failed step 2 and 3. They invested money they couldn't afford to lose because they were trying to get rich quick. And they saw stories and evidence of others who got in before them that made a fortune 3 or 4 months before them. So now they're getting in on the bandwagon. Chances are by the time you hear about it, it is already too late. It's another thing you should hear about certain scams. By the time you hear about it, it's already too late. But if you followed that in steps 2 and 3, even if you were in a scam, you either broke even or you made a lot of money. The only way you lost in that is if you got involved in something and it went out of business in 60 days, less than 60 days after you got started. Or, like I knew what people did, they invested money they couldn't afford to lose. And then when they started making money, they got greedy. And it's like you're in Vegas and you just want to put it all on black. I bet it all on black, not a little bit, all of it. People lost hundreds of thousands of dollars that I personally know that did that. Some people, I told them, pull it out. No, this just goes for a couple of more months. Education. Now I'm going to give you a couple of red flags to look for, because you are going to start to see every single home-based business is going to be running around talking about, we got a coronavirus stimulus package. We've got the answer for coronavirus, whether it is their product that's going to help you feel better, which is a big, big no-no in the SEC. And I'm happy to see a lot of companies are clamping down on their members from trying to hype their product as a cure for coronavirus. Yeah, people do that. But also saying, I've got the perfect plan that you can make money from home, blah, blah, blah. A couple of things to avoid is, number one, do they have any legal representation? And will they let you know who their legal representation is? That's a big thing right there. Where are they located? Where is the company registered? The United States has one of the most strictest laws in the world. And so when you see a company that says, oh, we're not registered in the United States, we're just overseas, so that's a red, doesn't mean they're a scam. It's just a red flag. And a red flag meaning, not that you're going to get scammed, but meaning that you have no recourse if anything were to go wrong. So I'm not saying all international companies are scams. No, that's not true. I'm just saying if you're in America and they don't want to operate in America, that's just one red flag to hold on to. Doesn't mean it's a scam. Just means you're taking a risk. Another one is any company that guarantees you something. We guarantee this is what you're going to make if you invest in this. We guarantee you're going to double your money. We guarantee you're going to make 1 to 2% a day. Any guarantee, red flag. Another one, give us your money, but you're not allowed to withdraw. Red flag. Red flag. Or how about this? Because a lot of you guys want passive stuff. You just want to put your money into something and walk away and let it just work for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if there's a program like that, make sure that you have 24-hour access to your funds in your own account at all times. If they say give it to this other account and you can see it in your back office and everything, but you don't have access to it, red flag. If they're using API and trading or doing whatever through your own account and the bot is just tied to it, okay. That's safer. Or this, give us all your Bitcoin up front type stuff, red flag. Do they have a product? There's no product, red flag. You're more likely looking at a Ponzi scheme. Now, why is that illegal? Because in the United States, you're exchanging money without the exchange of products, goods, and services, and that cannot be tracked. That cannot be taxed. The IRS doesn't like that. They want their cut. How are you going to report that on your taxes? So again, education is key. You'll see the red flags. I get hit up every single day from people. And it's the same people that every 2 or 3 months they're hopping from one thing to another, to another, to another. And it's the same story every single time. Oh, this is the real deal. Oh, no, this one's the real deal. Oh, this one's the real deal. Now, every now and then they get lucky and come across something that makes them a lot of money up front real quick. But that's far and few in between. Opportunities like that. So you just gotta be careful. Got to cross. I don't do business now unless I know who the owners are directly. If you look at since 2018, anything that I've done, I know exactly who the people are behind it. I have contact with them, and I work directly with them. I know who the legal representation is. I know who the owners are. I know what their intent is, and they're accessible if they do something crazy, and I can track them down. I passed up on things that would have made me a lot of money up front. But the people that would have followed me in those would have lost big time. even though I would have made money. I know I don't know if you want to call them these pimps in the industry, and I'm not going to call them out, but I know who they are. And in their mind, they think they're not doing anything wrong. They're just taking advantage of opportunities, making money, and moving on. But they're leaving a trail of bodies behind them, of people that's following them just because they made money and think that they're going to make money as well, and they never do. And by the time they realize what's going on, that leader who told them about it is already promoting something else. That one leader's making a whole lot of money, but nobody else is. And there's leaving a trail of body. They don't care about that fact. They're not looking for long term. I wish they would just be honest about it and say it to the people. And I never do business with them. I have one, I'm not going to call out a name, that's blowing me up right now. I just need 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You got to see this. You got to see this, Brandon. Blah, 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 blah. No. Brandon, you're going to make $100K easily. At what cost? My name and reputation? Even worse, my freedom? No, thank you. Do things the right way. Look for something that is solid, legitimate, and wants to be here long term. That doesn't guarantee that the business will survive, but at least that's what they're trying to do. And know that it's going to end up taking work. That's another problem. Everybody wants something easy and free. And I'm here to tell you, after 21 years experience, there is no shortcut. There is no shortcut. Those that end up getting lucky, one way or another, they end up losing it all. There is no shortcut. You have to put in the work, no matter what it is. Even if they make things easier for you, like what we did. We've removed all restrictions. You still got to work. We've removed any excuse. And this thing goes live tomorrow. Now, just for this, I'm going to share it again tonight when I do the presentation. Since this is not going to be a reset, and those of you who are in business with me know what I'm talking about, since it's not going to be a reset, the system, though, is still has to go through the cycle. It's just nobody will be moved back to ground zero. So there's going to be about a 48-hour delay. The site's going to go down for a couple of hours to do the upgrade, and it's going to do it at a time when most people are not online. So I think they're looking at it's going to be early in the morning, East Coast or West Coast time. And then the system, when it recalibrates and it gets started, it'll be another close to 48 hours before all the contributions start rolling through again. So I'm going to say that again tonight, just so everybody understands concept, how it works, and then it's game on. It is explosion time between April 15th and May 15th. And then it's going to be even bigger between May 15th and June 15th, because May 15th will be the first reset, and everybody goes back to ground zero, and then it's a race. It is on after that. So I'm really looking forward to that. Tomorrow's game day. Those of you that are looking for that plan B, and everybody needs a plan B. I don't care who you are, how much money you make. Everybody's at home right now. NBA players ain't making no money. They're at home. Football players, baseball, everybody's home. Let's see. Tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. www.uptogive.info. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. All right, that is it for Crypto Talk for today. I hope you guys learned something new. As always, that is the point. Stay safe. Follow the rules and directions. Stay indoors. Look for a plan B. Get educated. Bitcoin Brandon out. God bless. Bye-bye.